Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for January 13th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And it won't be for every Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. The first thing that I'm getting as I started working with your energy was this sense of you collecting, half packages of paper, envelopes that you don't use anymore, old pens, different things that are kind of tucked away in places where you don't really keep an eye on them. You're not really aware. It's like you're going through your cupboards, but you're not going through your cupboards necessarily to throw things out or to give them away. It's literally like you're going through your cupboards so you can see, okay, I've got this and I've got this and I've got this and I've got that, and okay, it's good, I'm set, I've got these things. But what the cards came up that helped me define this energy, it comes with that sense of sometimes you're not sure that you've got enough of whatever, enough education, enough funds, enough material goods, enough food, enough. And it comes from a sense of, often that sense of insecurity as a child, that you're trying now. It's like that insecurity is never completely gone. And so what you're doing is you're keeping yourself fortified with a lot of stuff around you. The reason it's interesting that you're going through it now and you're looking at it is because it's really specifically because Spirit is saying you don't have to do that. Now, I want to be a little bit more specific here because this is quite a far-reaching message. And what the bottom line seems to be, Taurus, is this. You are starting a new day. You are starting a new life. And the new day card did come up. And what Spirit is saying is you've got what you need within you. You've got what you need within you. If you don't bring something with you from the past that you need in a material way, you can manifest it. If there is something that you find yourself needing that you haven't thought ahead of, you can manifest it. And that's part of what this whole process is supposed to be for you, is that it's really about focusing on the sacred. It's about focusing on the idea that whether you're praying and invoking a divine presence, whether you're just allowing yourself to really connect with the sacred nature of life on this planet and in this universe, it's still about you acknowledging that there is a dimension to life beyond just table and chair reality. And that what you're learning as you're going into this new way of manifesting and creating, what you're learning is to lean into that and to really have that sense of trust that you are being taken. Now, what you're being told, however, is that you might need to discipline yourself a little bit, but in the way where it's not, speak in the affirmative, it's in the way that disciplining yourself in a way that really supports you in experiencing a sense of self-love, self-care, and abundance. So whatever that is for you, it might be sitting down with your own pot of coffee and hot milk and sitting there doing a crossword puzzle. That for you might be delightful and self-care and something to ground you and anchor you into a sense of well-being and abundance, because that's the energy they want you to be in. You're being told, Cancer, that whatever it is, if there's anything that you need to bring with you from the past, whether it's an activity or a belief system or actual material goods, that whatever you don't bring, you'll be able to create or manifest. And the thing is, what's important about it is, so, remember I'm talking about all those things that you've got half used that you're collecting now as like, okay, I've got all this stuff. You don't need the stuff. What you need is to let who you are becoming attract what it is you need, because maybe it isn't, a half-used package of foolscap. Maybe it's a sketch pad, right? Allow yourselves to level up. You can use what you liked as a ground basis for discovery, but not necessarily something you have to pull with you. And this also goes very clearly with your old image of who you are. Oh, this is so important. What are you carrying like gossamer fabric that is something you identify with your past character, with your parents, with your siblings, with your past life? What identification do you still carry? So is it, is it? Let's use an example. Okay, so my mother, who was recuperating from having had really intense cancer treatments, she spent the rest of her life after that taking afternoon naps and loving her soap operas. That was her thing, her after soap opera and her afternoon nap. Now, I'm not a soap opera kind of gal, and I don't do afternoon naps very, very often, but I do find sometimes my sense of identification goes back to that quality, even though I've been self-employed all my life. No, not all my life, a lot of my life. I can still have that image of myself that goes back to who my mother was. So even though I'm not actually living that, in my mind, I'm carrying that energy. And that is something that can surface at times of conflict for me, where I start almost wanting to emulate that behavior. Distraction through fantasy, sleeping odd times, things like that. So it's not a consistent in my life, but what I've realized is it has been a recurring thing. The recurring aspect of it has been consistent. Now I get to look at that and I go, wow, what if that energy that I accidentally perpetuate were just to fall off me like a piece of fabric? What would I look like? Who would I look like? Where has that been getting in the way? Now in this new day, I'm letting that go. I don't need that anymore, because very often it really is a choice. You're being told prayerfully, 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 prayerfully. And notice it is a new day, and this is your choice, Taurus. It's your choice. Okay? My dears, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to put this on pause and read for Virgo now. But I'm going to wish you all the very best, Taurus. I feel like this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for you to upgrade those things. Along the same lines, perhaps, of what thrilled you and enlivened you at a certain point in your life, or now, in increasing that. But I feel like this is really a wonderful time for you to be able to create in new and wonderful ways life that is based on who you are essentially, and not any of the old programming that you carried. So this is wonderful. Take care, Taurus. Hello, Virgo. This is your reading for January 13th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And it won't be for every Virgo, of course. Listen, what I was seeing as I was starting to work with your energy was you sipping through a straw, a lovely little glass, sipping through a straw. It's not specifically a cocktail, but it's got that kind of fancy quality to it. And it's a red liquid. Why is it important that it's red? I don't know yet, but it's a red liquid that you're drinking. And you're very demure. Like, I almost want to say, like, I could see you on a southern porch, with a mint julep, except it's not a mint julep because it's red. But it's got that kind of quality to it where it's kind of special and precious. What I'm getting, however, Taurus, is the next image of you is like a sumo wrestler, rah, where you're ready to go out and you're ready to fight. You don't feel like you just want to stand on a porch anymore and sip a nice little delicate drink. Oh, and it's red because it's root chakra. Root chakra, family, security, safety, stability, structure. which kind of goes along very well with the idea of you being on a fancy southern porch. You, my dears, are being told the first card that you get is love. Okay, now love for you, Virgo, is it's important to think of it like this. If you can think of it as what the essential nature of love is, which is a state of energy, a state of being, and you can imagine that you are radiating this through your personality, through your body, energetically, intentionally, however you want to do it. What you are being told is staying in that vibe and choosing to look at life like that, and choosing to reevaluate your relationships based on the idea of love as being a state of existence, as opposed to simply things that you do for people or don't do for people, acts of love that you do or don't do for people. When you can allow yourself to really focus in on the idea of love as being this energetic force that radiates from us, then you can absolutely expect success. You can risk success. You can engage in life fully. And I'm going to read this to you because I think it's really short and sweet. Take a chance. Act as though everything you do might be the best possible choice. Commit to it. Engage in life, willing to take the chances that will move you forward to whatever success you desire, or even to the fulfillment of the ones you've not yet identified. Risk success. Okay. Now, what you're also being told, which I think is super important, is the I like card. And depending upon how you want to see this, depending upon what it comes with, but really specifically when the guides get me to pull these cards, I have to take it in alignment with the energy they're sending me. And what this is saying to me is, it's not just focusing on love that you radiate to other people. What the important key thing here is for you, Virgo, my dears, is for you to really allow yourself to start defining what you like about you, what's good about you, beyond what you think other people think are good about you. And what you're being asked also to do is to look at this and say, I am more than what I have done. I am more than what I will do. I am more than what I will do for people. I am more than what I have done for or against people. I am. And really allowing you to move into that space of recognizing yourself as a divine being. And I know that's not easy for you, Virgo. I know you can theorize about it if you take the time, but sometimes you're a little bit more practical than that, then you want to spend time doing that. But if you can really, and when you can really, let yourself start engaging in the idea that you are that divine being with a willingness to feel that, with a willingness to engage in that, with a willingness to really start focusing on what you like about you as a part of the big picture. But even the things that you don't like about you, moving that into the love space too. Because by doing that, Virgo, what you do is you give yourself the power. You give yourself the power to be able to be a self-pleaser first. And that sounds selfish, probably to a lot of you, but what it really means is you are creating a foundation of abundance within yourself that creates a quality of security and stability. And as you do that, then you can make choices, clear choices, about how you want to give acts of love or not give acts of love. And that even when you choose not to do acts of love, you can still be solid in understanding your true nature as somebody who is radiating love. And that's where a big difference is for you, Virgo. This is a beautiful, beautiful time for major healing for you, for you to be able to really move into an experience of loving yourself. And when you start questioning whether or not you're lovable because these ideas or thoughts or memories or beliefs come up, that's when you say, thank you for showing yourselves. You're only coming up now because you're contrary to the sense that I'm moving towards, that I'm aligning with, which is the truth of being a being of love. You're coming up to show me where that energy is still stuck. And now I get to embrace that, and I get to name it, and I get to say, I'm going to breathe through that, and then I'm going to move into this new area of, yep, and you know what? I really like the fact that I can face my shadow and love me and love my shadow too. Virgo, I think this is a wonderful time for you. I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to wish you the very best. Now I'm going to put this on pause if I've got it right. Hi Capricorn, this is your reading for the week of January 14th, or when you hear it and it resonates, and it won't be for everybody, of course. Capricorn, the first image that I saw when I asked Spirit what we were giving you for the week, it was you in front on, there's a living room floor, and there's a bunch of pieces of something that need to be assembled on the floor. And I'm looking for it. It's like, well, is it a toy? Is it, I don't know, but it looks like something like IKEA, only perhaps from a place where the instructions are not very, very clear. And you're looking at them, Capricorn, and it's like you're trying to figure out how these pieces are supposed to fit together, and you really don't understand the instructions. What Spirit is saying is, you don't need the instructions. Okay, me saying, if it is furniture, you need the instructions. But Spirit is saying, seeing as how this is a metaphor, you don't need the instructions. This is about you choosing to say, maybe I don't have to follow all the rules people give me. Maybe I can decide how I want to create something for myself. Maybe it's time for me to trust the fact that, and that's important here, the trust is important. What they're saying is, dreaming. You've got the dreaming card, and the dreaming card is so important, and it's really contrary to, and now I will read the instructions and do it. The dreaming card is, dreaming is an act of creation. Our most life-enhancing dreams are our highest minds or spirits speaking to us about potential and fulfillment for the kind of life that our personalities and egos have limited. So dream big, dream in Technicolor, dream rich and full and affluent in all things. And I just realized, okay, it's all good. Now, I thought my plant had tipped. You're also getting the play card, which again is contrary to the I must read the instructions. Play is spontaneous, its goal is fun and laughter and enjoying the moment. It might be silly and doesn't worry about what things look like. It risks seeming silly and immature. It can be loud or quiet. It's often found in creativity, dreaming, an act of creativity. Everything you do can be done with an attitude of playfulness. Now, what I find interesting too is you've got the card, Childhood Prayers. As you know, you may not know, I'm guided to the cards that I pull, and then I allow the energy that they want me to perceive come from that card. And what I'm getting with this is this. You've got dreaming, an act of creation. You've got play. You've got childhood prayers, which to me can be, in this case, a sign saying, can you allow yourself to go back to child mind? It's not about the prayers per se. In this case, it's about dreaming and play. That's what we do when we're children. And what they're asking you to do is allow yourself to take a little bit more of a childlike attitude. And what do they mean by that? Well, the child is open to possibilities. The child is a lot more inclined to be able to use their imagination to get around things. They're not going to stop a story they're saying, for example, if they're making up a story about a dragon Well, they're not going to let the fact that the dragon is as big as a house get in the way. What they'll do is they'll shrink the dragon for the story so that she can carry the dragon into the house with her, right? There's that poetic license that happens simply because children don't worry about what the rules are. And that's what I feel you're being asked to consider is, where can you dream? Where can you let your imagination take you when you allow yourself to say, I'm not going to necessarily read the rule book anymore? What if I take the rigid walls off what the rules tell me and say, now, if I were a kid, how would I look at this? Or what did I enjoy? No, I don't want to say that. That's not really where they want me to go. It's more a sense, because you may not have actually done this as a kid. I was going to say, how did I imagine when I was a kid? You may not have. And that might be part of what this is about, is that you are learning to be able to use your imagination in ways that are going to help get you out of the streamlined thinking that says it has to look like this and it has to look like that. Because dreaming is an act of creation and playfulness is spontaneous. It's asking you to use your imagination rather than just your logical linear mind and your logical linear rules to get things done. Be spontaneous like a kid would be. Be creative like a kid would be. Don't worry about making a mess like a kid doesn't. Allow yourself to just share some of that sense of open possibility that children typically have. Even kids in really traumatic situations, sometimes they have the most powerful imaginations. So allow yourself space and expansion, something beyond the rules that you have perceived. And especially if you're wanting to create something in the concrete form, allow yourself to be guided into what that might look like, okay? By allowing yourself to dream beyond what you think the rules are, okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Capricorn. I'm wishing you all the very best. Take care.